How's it going, everyone? It's Ben Foggins Media Corner back again with a brand new video for today. Welcome back to the movie review, aka After I Saw. This time it's going to be on The Gorge. Now, this is a 2025 sci-fi action film, and this is the latest from director Scott Derrickson, who's known for doing a few horror films and a few sci-fi films. And in this film, the stars Miles Teller and Anya Taylor-Joy, who they portray two elite snipers who are ordered to guard a deep gorge without knowing what lies inside of it. So that's pretty much the story of The Gorge. Now, like I mentioned before, this is the latest film from director Scott Derrickson, who's known for doing horror and sci-fi movies. When it comes to doing horror movies, I enjoyed The Exorcism of Emily Rose, and I also enjoyed Sinister, but easily my favorite when it comes to doing horror is The Black Phone, which I had a blast that movie back in 2022, and of course we're getting a sequel of that this year soon, so I cannot wait for that sequel very soon this year, and I cannot wait to see what Derrickson does with that sequel as well. And when it comes to doing sci-fi movies, the only one I tend to enjoy the most of when it comes to doing sci-fi is Doctor Strange, even though that's mostly a superhero movie, but that was still a great entry to the MCU. So when I heard he's making a new movie where it tends to add in both sci-fi and horror together, I was really curious to see what he was going to be doing in this new movie he was making. Well, it also tends to be a bit of a romance film as well, which is something I've never seen him doing before as well, so I was also pretty curious to see what he was going to be doing with that genre being added into this new movie he was making with this one here. And I did watch this on Apple TV Plus just a few weeks after it was released. And while it tends to be an entertaining mixture of both sci-fi and horror together, while also blending in the romance aspects as well, ultimately I just found this film just to be an overall just a mid movie here. First off, Miles Teller and Anya Taylor-Joy, they are both really good together, and yet they have a really strong chemistry with each other. After the first 50 minutes of the film, once the film starts to build up the whole romance aspect in the film, and the way they communicate I really liked, where they don't have like lines of dialogue, and where we see them across from each other and they like hold up like paper, like hold out cards with words on them, and I really like that. And Sigourney Weaver's in the movie as well, and she was pretty solid for the majority of scenes that she's in within the movie. And the whole direction by Scott Derrickson himself is well made for the storytelling and the whole build up to the romance aspects, while also tending to be a creepy, mysterious sci-fi action flick that tends to have a bit of action. And when it comes to the action, they are pretty cool, and yet they do get pretty suspenseful once we see these two characters come across these creatures that we see inside this gorge that they're trying to guard within the movie. And even the effects for these like monsters that we see in the film are pretty cool, even though there are some like green screen in the film that tends to be pretty noticeable in some scenes, and it just did not work for me. And as for the first 50 minutes of the film, like I said, it does work for me when it comes to the overall build up of the romance aspects between the two leads that we do see within the movie. Although the last two acts of the film does tend to feel pretty sloppy once we see these two leads inside the gorge, and the chemistry kind of fades away, and it does kind of make the film a bit predictable for some scenes that happens when we see these two leads inside the gorge. And also the last act of the film does tend to feel just generic and cliche, where it tends to have something to do with the government that are involved with this whole movie. But in the end, guys, The Gorge, it's certainly not a bad Scott Derrickson flick here, although I would have to say it's one of his weakest when it comes to him as a filmmaker. But it does tend to be pretty entertaining when it tends to blend in different types of genres here and there. But it does tend to throw in some predictability and cliches along the way. And if you're a fan of like sci-fi and action being blended in together, this one might be for you. But in all honesty, it's just a one-time watch for myself. I'm gonna give The Gorge 3 out of 5. Overall, just a mid-movie for myself, yeah, even though it is Derrickson's weakest when it comes to him as a director. But I cannot wait to see what he does with The Black Phone 2 that's coming out very soon. So hopefully that film will make up over this movie. But we'll see. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching my AK After I Saw review on The Gorge. And I'd like to know what you guys think of this movie, if you've already seen this movie, or if you just recently checked this one out. And as always, this has been Foggins Media Corner signing off.